I began to use this particular time period, 2004 through 2006, 7, to really take the opportunity to look at where I was at and use the opportunity of being sort of down in the underground to describe it and to build this mythology, a new mythology that I was really needing in my life. The process of building this mythology was a curious one. In 2005, I started trying to map this underground space. And it was curious in the sense of if one were to say, draw a map of your other spiritual realm, what kind of map would you draw? And for me, I thought, well, if one enters into the so-called underground place, one has to begin somewhere. So the beginning of all these maps begin at the top. Now, if you enter into this, say the doorway of the underground, do you only have one choice? Is there only one door that you can pass through? Or do you have a choice of other doors? So I ended up deciding to give the entrance to the underground 3 doors. And this central axis ends up relating to throughout history they call the axis mundi, or this line between heaven and earth, that one's truth is complete within. In this drawing, there's this ship that appears, and this ship in this particular drawing is a representation of the slave ship. When I was a kid, the story of the Africans being brought over from to the West Indies, as they were called, as slaves was a really powerful story. I was just horrified at it. I was horrified by these pictures that I saw where the slaves were given these sort of small little, they were like stacked on top of each other, chained in these little, I don't know what you call them, little cubicles. And the disease and the death and all the stories that were associated with this passage for these individuals made me extremely sad. And I feel like in some sense this was the beginning, this is almost the beginning of my compassion itself. This process of mapping out the underground led to, each drawing would lead to a new idea about the next drawing, and sometimes I would abstract the previous idea and simplify it. Sometimes I would make additions. This particular drawing is trying to sort of create the essence of these previous two. This being the ship. The slave ship has become not so much a slave ship anymore, but a ship that travels in this land of the yin and the yang, these two poles that we always sort of move back and forth between. The axis mundi has now become this mast for the ship. My fundamental truth is represented by this X. And then I established I began to put this cross. And this cross, the Christian cross, is a cross that is a symbol that, or iconography, if you want to use that, it reappears time and time again in my work, and it's almost like the representation of the self, of this journey that I've taken my whole life, of this cross that, in a sense, that I've had to sort of bear